Hi everyone, Joey here with the Practice Center. And I thought I could go live on here, but can't, so I have to record it and upload it. There are several of you that just started following the Practice Center page here on Facebook or liked it or both. Thank you so much. I haven't been really on top of that, but it is my hope and desire to grow this group to at least 1,000 by the end of the year. I feel like that's doable. So if you can help with that, that'd be amazing. So you follow this page or you like the page, now what? And that's what I want to address a little bit here today. Like, what is the Practice Center? What am I doing here yapping along about? Like, what's the point? Yeah. So here's the point of the Practice Center and why the name is meaningful to me and why I come on here and post almost every day. Yes, it's me, like me personally posting every day, either meaningful stuff that just happened in a group or in my life, or just general stuff that I have on deck so that I can serve by way of motivation or information or follow up. So the Practice Center, the idea is that we live in, like, coming out of the information age. Like, that was the big thing when I was in school way back when. It's like, this is the information age. We have access to so much information. Yay, isn't that great for us? We have so much access to information. And then it dawned on me that, and? So what? Like, information has never been helpful to me because I've had so much information and so many people telling me things or the right things or the good things or do this, do that. And it's never helped me feel very good. So the idea that information is enough is crap. And also, I have had the honor, the privilege, and the life experience that has allowed me to be in spaces with highly educated people, like folks who have written dissertations and have multiple degrees and are super, super, super smart. And in fact, my program was the subject of a dissertation a few years ago. The Y Try program that I was running with youth here in Hawaii. So I've been the subject and all of that. I've always wondered. And for a while, I wondered with like a snooty attitude, like, I don't need that degree. Part of it was true. I didn't need that degree. I'm not an academic. Part of that is true. Part of that was me just being miserable and like almost shitting on myself. Like, I should get that if I want to feel legitimate, but I haven't. So now I'm going to poo-poo on everybody. Yeah. So I've matured some through the years. And here's where I've landed so far is that we do indeed have access to more information than ever before, all of us, whether that's our business of research and we are an academic, or just the regular old lay person who has Google in their pockets or whatever search engine is your favorite. Yeah, we have access to more information than ever before and more devices that have access to more information. So simultaneously, we can be having access to more information and double the information and triple and quadruple. So part of the problem is like, what's good and what's not, what will work and what will not. So part of the problem here now is vetting, right? Finding the source and what's good information versus bad information. And then the other piece is, even if it's the best information, yeah. So a lot of this research work projects that I see, there's always a margin of error or X amount of people showed this kind of whatever, right? But if you happen to be the one, then does the best practice really matter to you? Like, if you're the one person that this doesn't work for whatever reason, then the best practice for you then is pointless. So the premise is that if that was you, you're the one person where this one good idea didn't work for. But then the other thing is true is that you have access to all of this information. Then it would make sense to me that it's your job then to practice whatever these good ideas are until one feels right in your body, until it makes you feel differently, whether that's a little bit more peaceful, a little bit more joyful, a little bit more able to participate fully in your life, a little bit more able to go after your goals without sabotaging. So however you are gauging success, it is through practice, and then the evidence is going to be in your body and the relationship, the quality of the relationship that you have in your life and with your people and community. Yeah. So to me, the idea of the practice center is that yeah, there are a couple of things that have really been helpful to me. And first and foremost is mindfulness. The idea of having a consistent mindfulness practice. It's an idea that I think I've had access to my whole life because I'm coming from family that used to meditate. And then through my adoption years, I had a really tough time. And then I was introduced to mindfulness practice around 15 or 16. And then from then, I've been going in and out of it, one way or the other, just kind of seeking and searching. So definitely mindfulness. And now there's enough information that it's kind of in general conversation. Like you can say mindfulness now and talk to most people about that, and they have some sort of awareness, whereas 10 years ago, that was not the case. And then the concepts of forgiveness or attitudinal healing or Course in Miracles, or like think of any really good book, information, research, evidence-based curriculum that you're thinking of. And there are really some good pieces of information there. But again, it won't mean a hill of beans if we don't practice it and then vet that against our own internal landscape and see if that does indeed help us. So I see that as my job. I see that as my job is to kind of translate some of these things that we're talking about that seem like they have almost a holier than thou, or it's only for a certain kind of people. I see my job being, no, this stuff can be practiced like in really practical ways, like in the classroom, just day to day, while you're doing Zumba, while we're in a group, while we're doing grief work. No matter what it is that we're doing, there are a couple of these concepts around mindfulness, forgiveness, attitudinal healing that can permeate so that we can fully show up as ourselves in that sense of wholeness. So my job is to help us practice that. So to that end, I offer workshops, coaching, supporting coaches and facilitators, speaking engagements. I get funded through the state to do work with specific state agencies. And then I host some free and some paid open stuff retreats. So all of those things I usually post here. And that's open to everyone, all of you. And I want to talk in particular to those folks who have never been invited to this work specifically. And I'm speaking that, to me, that's me. Like when I used to sit in these kinds of groups, I usually would be the only person of color, and it would make me feel gross. And I would be like relatively young compared to who was in the room, which made me feel like I didn't belong. So I'm talking to my brothers and sisters of color, men. So however you identify in that group that have traditionally been told that this kind of heart work isn't for you. And so I'm saying traditionally in a lot of, no matter how we identify, if we've been socialized in a certain way, there are certain groups of us that have been told that, you know, connecting with our emotions are not for you. So generally speaking, I'm lumping that as men, but that's so many more of us, right? So if you feel like you have never been invited to that conversation around mindfulness, healing, forgiveness, adjusting your attitude, yeah, in a way that feels supportive and not as a shunning. So I'm talking to you in particular. My mixed folks. So I'm Korean and Black. Sometimes it's really hard to fit into any community. You're not Black enough for certain ones. You're not Asian enough, certainly. You're not white enough, but yet my family is. Yeah, so not belonging. However that connects with you. If you've ever felt like you didn't belong, you belong here. Or I invite you to the conversation. My adopted family. So those of you who have been adopted, Man, we lug around a lot of stories of pain and grief, and not a lot of spaces to communicate that without feeling like you have to like put on that face of gratitude. Yeah, this isn't the space for that. This is for real practice. So wherever you're at, we're gonna have some conversations, and then we're gonna engage in you feeling better, not me thinking that you can feel better through. Yeah, it's about helping you um, practice some skills, have some conversations, connect with other people, and then see, do you feel better? In which case, then you'll come back if the answer is yes. Yeah. So when you see the invitations go out as registration forms with a little explanation of what it is, that's for you. And if it's still taking registration, then it's open. You'll know that that particular class is closed when you can't register anymore, because I will close that off on the back end, because certain groups are limited to like 6, other groups are a little bit more open. So this is for you. Also, if you don't see it here, you can go onto the website. So www.thepracticecenter.org, or my name, joeyreese.com. They'll all take you to the same spot. And you can see upcoming workshop. And if you click on that, you'll see what's upcoming so that you can register. If you are interested in becoming a facilitator, those are special events that happen throughout the year. Those will also be posted on the website. So please come on here and just kind of see if you need a quick little pick me up for that day, or if you see an open invitation that is for you, please engage if that feels right for you, or communicate with me directly. So send me a direct message and ask me about that. Hey, I see this thing. Can you tell me who's going to be there? And I'm happy to do that, because sometimes it's easier to show up if you know a little bit more. Yeah, it's hard to know on these web kind of stuff. And then my final message is like, this Zoom stuff, it's here to stay. Even when the world opens up, I know I'm going to continue to be doing Zoom classes, live classes too, for sure, but definitely online stuff, which means that the whole world has access to it. If you don't mind getting up in the middle of the night, if you're on the other side of the world, right? So please share some of this information, because when you see a class like 4 classes of attitudinal healing and you're like, what is that? But it kind of sounds interesting, but I don't know who's going to be there. I'm a little bit nervous. To go, hey friend, my best friend, I want to go to this thing. I'm not quite sure what it is. Can you please come with me? Yeah. And even if that friend, say, is in Spain, you can send them that link, and then they can join you for that conversation, and you guys can learn together. And then you can test it out for yourself. And either you feel good and you're like, I like that. And then you come back to the next one, you're like, not for me. And then you don't come back. Yeah. So many of the things that I offer is just a low bar of entry. So a lot of them are free. A lot of them are donation based. A lot of them are like a sliding scale, pay what you can kind of a thing. So if you can pay $1 bazillion, then pay $1 bazillion, because there are other people who can't. But what I do want to make sure that we do here is that we don't burn out our facilitators. So I take care of myself in terms of, I have some grant funding and I know what my energy levels are. So I provide as much as I can. And then as we bring new facilitators on, I don't want everybody out there hunting for money. Yeah, so some of the grants will fuel that. But sometimes it'll be you. You're like, I love it and I can pay and I have a little extra. So I'm going to give a little extra, and that will support a facilitator to offer a free workshop. So there you go. I hope this was helpful. Ask whatever questions you need to ask in order for you to attend the things that you need to attend. Final disclaimer. None of this stuff is therapy. I'm not a therapist, a counselor, a licensed clinical social worker. I'm not any of those things, nor do I pretend to be. I don't play one on TV, not even on Zoom. But a lot of it will feel therapeutic because we're talking about real stuff. And I love Jerry Jampolsky of Attitudinal Healing International and his comment, which is, the extraordinary power of ordinary people to have an extraordinary impact on helping one another heal. Like, that's what I'm in it for. I'm just a ordinary gal out here who has done a lot in terms of working with our most at-risk communities. And I've seen some real miracles happen. And I'm not this weird, unique, special person. I'm just a person that finds this stuff meaningful. And in doing that, I found other regular old people who are able to do extraordinary things. So again, this is not therapy and it shouldn't be replacing your therapy. But this might also help you go, maybe therapy won't be so scary, and give you an entry into that world if that's what you need in order to continue your healing. So thanks for listening, you guys. I love this work. I love that you're a part of it. And it feels good. Share it. Thanks.